And welcome to Monster Party!
Monster Party!
Monster Party!
Yay!
Hey, I'm Larry Strothe.
I'm Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
And I'm James Gonis.
And you're in for a special treat, because today's topic is Godzilla Collectibles! Yeah! And not only is that, I mean, this is really cool. We have so many collectibles, so many things to talk about, but I really want to point out the really cool thing about today is we're actually coming at you from Creature Features.
Yeah.
Creature Features is an amazing store in Burbank, California. Matt, what do they have here? It's like so.
It's your one-stop monster shopping. It's like anything to fulfill your monster needs, you can get it right here.
Now, what don't they have here?
Yeah, exactly. If you want your Frankenstein, your classic Universal, you want your giant monsters, you want your small monsters, you want your space monsters.
And,
I mean,
Taylor White, owner of the store, is an amazing guy, and he's put all
Lovely
this
man,
stuff together.
legend.
Fantastic.
has these wonderful art shows too on a regular basis, and we're lucky enough to be in the middle of the Godzilla all-art attack.
I mean, it's so cool. They have artists from all over the Los Angeles and actually California and farther than that did these amazing pictures with using oils and I mean sculptures and they brought all their Godzilla stuff here to Creature Features for people to purchase, and I actually purchased one.
Oh,
I did.
Which one did you
I
purchase?
believe it or not, I got this one right here.
Wow.
No, what's so cool is I actually picked one of these up because when I'm looking at all the artwork, it's a little boy and he's in his little Godzilla costume and it's Halloween and it's like the Godzilla costume that I never had as a kid.
Exactly.
And then you have Godzilla
be
in the
honest,
background.
it had you at little boy.
Yes, it did. It did. But anyway, welcome to Monster Party. Today it's Godzilla Collectibles. So why don't we start?
Yeah. Well, I think you should get this thing off the ground because we sort of worship you. You
Please.
You are kind of the Yoda of this whole thing. I mean, your collection is enviable.
Yes.
It is amazing.
Well, we did another episode. It was called Large Big Monsters. We talked a little bit about Godzilla
It was Big
toys.
Large Monsters.
It was Large Big Monsters. I guess I've been drinking so much.
Oh.
But what's really cool is when we were kids growing up and watching the Godzilla movies on television. I didn't know there were Godzilla toys. This is back in like 1970, 71.
Right. We all grew up basically in the 70s. So,
Yeah.
And there were no Godzilla toys in the U.S. They didn't exist.
Yeah, the only thing that you could get really was the Aurora model kit.
Yes, the
Right.
Aurora Monster Model Kit, which we have down
you
there.
like play with as an action figure, even though it was a model
Yeah,
kit.
I had
It
two.
didn't work.
Did you?
I had one that was all painted nicely by my dad, and
Mhm.
did a great job, and then I had another one that I never glued to the base.
So you
And
can
that
play
was
with it.
and he was molded in like Godzilla color.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, I got the model, but that was the only thing you could get. Then I saw Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. Changed my life. In the first
All our lives.
yes, the
Really?
first
Really?
at the beginning of the movie.
It's
you
kind of
see
the
this,
Jesus
yes,
of
exactly.
Godzilla movie.
You see,
The
this,
Rosebud.
you see this little boy playing with this Godzilla, and he's playing with it on a slide.
Oh, look at that.
I freaked out when I saw that, and I said, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week or next month, but one day I will have that Godzilla toy.
Yes, it opened up the whole world for you. Where like
It did, Shawn, it did.
They were actually Godzilla collectibles.
Because I was determined now, I've got to find these Godzilla
Where can I
collectibles.
get that?
This took me 25 years to get. I actually had to go to Japan, but this is that toy Godzilla that you see a little boy playing with.
Yeah,
Walmart?
And
great.
Yeah, it is. But that's what started it. Seeing Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. If I saw anything that was remotely Godzilla, I would
Right.
get. But you had to wait for years. The first thing that came out, it was actually like '76. Was this little rubber guy? And yeah, this little rubber. You made a comment about how he's the muscle man, or I don't know.
Yeah, Godzilla of Zuma Beach.
Yeah. But this was the first one that I got, and then slowly but surely, when Godzilla toys started to come out in the 80s.
Bondi.
Exactly.
Was
Then I
it
started
80s or
doing
was
that.
it like early 90s?
It was
No,
the
it is the
80s.
80s. Oh yeah, it's the 80s.
Mid '80s was like the Bondi explosion.
Yeah.
It was like 1980, like 1982, 83. I mean, this was one of the guys that came out at that time.
When I discovered Bondi figures, I guess it was around late 80s, and that was a whole new thing for me. Because they were like incredibly realistic versions of these monsters, and they were churning out every couple months different characters.
Yeah, and there was also something, just the way Japanese make toys is there's something about the vinyl that there's a warmth to it that you don't really get in other toys. It's amazing.
They put more detail
Hot
on the toys.
Monster,
Yeah.
Macaris, you got Baby Godzilla. These are all like really
Yeah,
Most
fantastic
of them look
renditions.
exactly like
Yeah.
the costumes look.
Maybe,
for the most part.
in fact, the Minya or Manila or Mary
Or son of
Or
a
Baby Tad.
Baby Dad,
Yes,
yes.
that's a
Yeah,
good-
it's a very, very good likeness, unfortunately.
I
Here we go,
love
here
I
we
love-
go.
Okay, I love his look. Look at this. Who could have loved
That's
this?
strange.
Look?
I mean,
He's not strange. He's adorable.
is that really what Godzilla would look like?
Yes, yes, it is.
No, I guess. Yeah, no,
No,
but I
you know
appreciate
what?
the accuracy. Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
this
Well,
is-
it's the accuracy we're talking about.
Yes,
and
yes.
that's-
Okay, so talk about the
he's like,
actors.
he's like a dinosaur with a hair lip. It's not, it just doesn't, I'm sorry.
But still faithful,
I'm
to,
going.
faithful to the original representation.
Right.
So,
And
that's
they
what
would
I love
put
about
like,
that.
I mean, they put like Jaguar, they put Gigan and Megalon,
Oh,
Titanosaurus.
Gigan.
We had to wait for Titanosaurus.
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
to wait like
But
15 years.
I mean, just again, like monster characters that you never, at least in America, you never saw figures for before.
No. Now the funny thing is, there were some toys that were made in Japan that were not, that you couldn't readily get in the United States. One of them, like a primo piece, it's the metal battery operated Godzilla.
Oh,
Now
yeah, that's
this,
sweet.
this is a gorgeous
Look
toy.
at that.
Now this came out around like late 60s, early 70s, like maybe around like 71, 72. And the amazing thing about him is, you know, he had a little battery case with a little wire, and you press the button, and he'll walk, and he'll move his arms, he'll light up and roar, and he breathes smoke. Huh?
And he drinks beer.
No, he doesn't drink beer.
I can bring some beer, Sean. see what
He's a
happens.
tin toy.
Yeah.
He'll get rust in it. So
The more modern ones use a vaporizer.
but you see, he is smoking though. You
No,
see that?
Yeah.
One of the things I think we can all agree on as collectors is we're not in it for the value of it, for the appreciation.
Well, I was
even,
the
even
only
though, even though they do appreciate,
Mhm.
that's not really why we're in it. We're in it just because we love this
That's
stuff.
certainly not why I'm in it.
Right.
Like again, like I know you like to keep a lot of stuff in the boxes and packages. Like for
I-
me though, like I need to touch it. I'm a boy. I'm like a little kid and I need to touch my toys and play with them.
And I want every single character. Like I'm still waiting for certain monster characters to come out. Like I want every single character. You know, that's why
Well,
I like seeing when they come up with new ones all the
The
time.
Gargantuas still haven't come out in the
Oh my
box.
God,
true.
Gargantuas, yeah.
X Plus just
Thank
released
God.
the
Yeah.
large ones, which are beautiful,
Thank
but
Christ.
still not the right scale.
What's the right scale?
The right scale for Gargantuas would be about 6 inches, based on the other Bondis, which are a little
Because they
bit
were
taller,
smaller
because
ones.
they were not
That's
as big
true.
in scale.
Yeah, I don't care at all about the scale.
Well, I
Because
do.
the only see, here's the thing though, is that now hear me out.
Okay.
But like the only scale that I need is full size, which
I
would
want-
be the
I want
top
the life
as
size.
big as a building.
1-1 scale.
Yes.
That's
So
so
see, I
unrealistic
can't-
though.
I can't-
Well,
Well,
that,
scale,
that
because
doesn't matter
The
then
way,
what
the
size
way
it
that
is.
I display my figures, the way that I decided to display them eventually was in a diorama with all these little scale buildings and little tanks and helicopters, because my experience with the Godzilla films, and part of the reason I love them, is because of all those little things which are pretty obviously like remote control, you know, but
What?
well, no, they were real tanks, Matt, I'm sure. But yeah, my diorama had a lot of little figures being stepped on and upside down school buses and stuff like that, and that's why I'm craving the scale.
I want to hug you right now. I really do.
Now,
There is one character
I love that.
characters that you actually get 1-1 scale.
What's that?
That would be the twin fairies from Mothra.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And he
You
has
get the real
those.
scale.
He
I
has
have a bunch
those.
of
yes.
those, yeah.
So do I actually. Yeah.
I was just thrilled that they even decided to release those at all. And
Yeah.
then I just wanted to get my hands on every one that I could. But I was going to ask, do you have any idea, Larry, what this is worth, this tin one?
Well, sure. I do have an idea
No,
as to
it's
what
not.
this is worth.
Yes,
Not
no
not
idea.
that it matters, but
No, I mean, look. When I picked this up, I actually got this in Japan, and I actually had a very famous tin toy robot collector help me find him. This was back in like 1989, so I got him at a good rate. But now, I mean, I've seen him on eBay go for anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500. So, and that's with a box, which I have the box for this, but I didn't display it, but I do have the box. Thank you very much.
and there's Gigan as well. You have the
I do have the guy. Well, yeah, I didn't want to bring everything, and maybe we'll save that for another show. But I brought Godzilla today, and they made 4 tin toy robot Godzilla monsters. They made Baragon, Gigan, and
Mechagodzilla?
well, no, they didn't. They made Gyros from Ultraman. It's Godzilla
Oh, yeah.
costume with the fin,
Right,
you know.
right,
yeah.
So I have those guys, and they sit beautifully in my shelf, and they're quite pricey.
Well, we are going to do a Gigan Collectibles episode.
Yeah, we'll do a Gigan.
I do love Gigan. One of my favorite monsters.
But today it's Godzilla Collectibles, and I pointed out a couple of favorites of mine. But Sean, what about you? Do you have a favorite here?
I mean, I love all the Bondis, but I also love. I think is it CCB or
CCP.
CCP has been making more recently some great figures. Hydra. The Smog Monster is one of my favorite Godzilla foes. I think it's one of the most unique and crazy
Me too.
foes.
Yeah.
And the Godzilla glow-in-the-dark Hydra I think is my favorite.
Nice.
Which one is that? Which one?
Yeah,
That's down front.
I don't know if you can see that one. But
Let's see.
this guy is pretty awesome.
Whoa!
He just glows in the dark. So
Yeah.
he can be your nightlight.
Now, Hydra has developed a special sort of cult following. It's almost kind of
Yes.
an underground icon.
There's an explosion of Hydra figures actually, and somebody's getting drunk already.
Well, that's what happens on Monster Party.
But,
you know, we'll
but
start
yeah, I
drinking.
mean, Hydra kind of lends itself to lots of experimentation with figures.
For example,
different
this
colors.
is one of my Hydras,
Mhm.
CCP as well. But look at that. Huh?
Oh,
yeah.
it lights up!
Nice.
I was wondering why are you hitting it? You know,
Yeah, no, and it serves many purposes. It gets out your frustration.
I couldn't hit a toy. If I got this, mine would never light up.
You would be hitting the box.
It's pretty strong.
You know?
Wow. And then there's this one too, which also lights up. And that.
Oh, we can hit it. Oh, look at that! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
And it's
flickering
the, and it's the smokestack. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
You know, I should also mention at this point, this is one of my favorite, this is a reproduction.
Oh, that's
Oh,
This is
yeah,
one of
that's
my
nice.
favorite Godzilla posters. It's the Polish Godzilla versus Hydra poster. And most of the Polish Godzilla posters, you wouldn't even know it was a Godzilla movie because it's some guy with wiggy hair with a with 70s like bell bottoms.
They remade that movie in Poland? Lech Walesa.
Anyway, this is beautiful because it's got the city, it's got the smog, it's got Hydra's eyes. It's gorgeous.
Very awesome. Yeah, very unique film, and again, great figures, great toys.
You know, it's neat that I like the figures, but also, guys, what I like to find is Godzilla toys that it's not really a figure, but it's something completely different, like this Godzilla squirt gun. I mean, I love this. It's Godzilla on a squirt gun and it squeaks.
Squeaking squirt gun.
And possibly Godzilla on a tricycle?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's right. Oh, here. No. This is Sean. Sean brought this. Show
This is
this.
great. This is Godzilla on a tricycle. I mean, how can you get this charming?
From that,
Here,
from that
wind
movie,
that, wind
that
it,
movie
wind
where
it,
he rode the
wind it.
Yeah,
tricycle.
well, I don't know if you can
This
see
was-
it.
No, just hold it up.
Young Godzilla.
He got beat up by kids a lot.
He led a privileged life.
Now, the cool thing about that tricycle is it came, as far as I know, it came in 3 colors. There's the yellow tricycle, a red one, and a green one.
Okay.
The green one's kind of hard to find.
Really?
That's not the
I know,
only-
that's my goal.
Yeah, I mean that's all right.
my
I mean
next
that's okay, Sean. If you had the green one, but you're kind of a loser with that one.
Yeah,
Like,
I just got the yellow.
I mean, this sneering you could already.
No, I'm not. No,
Yes.
no, I have it too. I have the yellow one. I have the red one. I'm a completist. I want to have the whole
That's true.
set. You know.
Well, what I like, jumping ahead to today, I mean, are there a lot of new ones coming out today, figures? Because it seems like there's more variety now. Like the original Bondis are hard to find now, right?
Yeah. I mean, those aren't coming out as much. As a matter of fact, there may be a cap on them, but now I know in light of the new Godzilla movie, there's a bunch of Godzilla toys. But also there were other Godzilla toys that were made. You can actually find at Toys R Us. Have you guys seen those? They are.
Yeah, they have. There's a line of them, and
Yeah.
and for the most part, considering that they are an American toy line,
Yeah.
they're not bad.
No,
They're really
yeah.
good
Like
quality.
this.
Especially the King Caesar is probably.
Yeah, it's a better detailed King Caesar than the Bandai one.
I agree.
And they did a
completely.
very nice Mecha Godzilla one too. It's got a little glitter in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you like?
Hey, can I share my my big
Please, Godzilla collectibles.
Okay, so I love toys, I love all the figures and everything like that, but there was one thing when I was growing up, and so there's my friend Kevin, he got this Godzilla book, this Godzilla picture book from Japantown,
How old are we?
and I don't know, like 8 years old or something like that, and so he got this book, and it had all these great pictures in it, and it was so neat, and I'd never even seen a book like this before.
Okay.
And so my dad took me to Japantown. We got the book. I brought it home. I loved it. I brought it everywhere. A week later, I lose it.
Oh.
Yeah, I leave it behind someplace.
Oh my God.
And I
I would have
and
jumped
I-
off a bridge.
and I
that would have been
it was like someone like kidnapped my child at the time.
'Cause it's not like
Now
you
I
can-
realize that's completely unreasonable thinking. But
'cause
then
it's not like you can go
I had a
to
lot
Barnes
of
and
problems.
Noble and pick up another book.
Yeah, this is not.
well,
Right, right.
and so I go back there thinking, because there were a few copies. And I
Yeah.
go back there, gone, done. And so there's another book. Hey, well, maybe this book would be good.
Listen, it doesn't say
No, it wasn't even hardcover. It was like terrible.
oh, that's.
So anyway, so from that point on, for years, I am looking for this book. And I go, to used bookstores, and I keep going back to Japantown. And then, when eBay starts, I'm still looking on eBay.
yeah.
And all,
Sure.
any possible thing that I could possibly type in, a vintage Godzilla book, or it's 1970s, or.
Sure.
And so, I go to Japan. I go to Japan 3 times, and I don't find it.
You didn't find it in Japan?
I couldn't find it in Japan.
You think
I
you'd
go
be able
to-
to find anything.
Yes, right. I'm asking. So then finally, I'm looking for something else on eBay, and what do you know? Boom, there it is.
You're kidding.
And so maybe 35 years later,
Yeah.
I find the book.
The book.
The book, and now I if any,
I
I keep it
Under lock and key.
yeah, there's always in plastic, but there's so many cool things about it. It's got some great pictures. First of all, speaking of Hedera's internal organs. How about that?
Cross section.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to know what Hedera's internal organs looked like.
Yeah.
Well, we know that he has heterite.
No, Heteridium.
Heteridium. Yeah, you know in the scene in Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster,
Yes.
where Hedera is defeated,
Yes.
and he pulls out these
Godzilla.
two white things that look like eggs.
Yeah.
They're
And
not eggs.
That's right. We were debating this for ages. Are they eggs? Are they his eyes? And now we find out from a Godzilla expert.
There's balls.
No, they're not his balls. They're heteridium. That's what.
Well, that's what his balls are made of.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're not his balls.
We should redub that movie with the dialogue to Glengarry Glen Ross.
No, we're not going to do that.
Classic.
Okay. So look, other Godzilla collectibles. That's a beautiful
Well,
book.
speaking of books,
Yes, please.
I'm a big fan of what they call sono sheets, which are these little book and record sets that they used to sell for kids.
Oh, that's
And
great.
it's got a little flexible record that
Oh,
you can play
look
on
at that.
record players. This one is from Destroy All Monsters.
Ooh.
I think I found it at San Diego Comic Con for $20 or something.
Wow.
That's
But
great.
these
Yeah.
things are beautifully illustrated, usually by the same artist, and you can still find them on eBay and in Japan for not as much as you'd think. You can get them for like $30, $40.
You know, it'd be
Where are
cool.
those paintings, I wonder?
That's what I want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There was a
You
guy
use the
one time.
artist to
There was a
do
guy
that.
in Comic Con who actually had an original painting from something like that, and it was really pricey. The painting, the detail on that is amazing.
So I was actually also able to find a book in Little Tokyo of just the paintings from Sono Sheets and
Hey,
different
there you go.
by the same artist. And collecting Godzilla books is also a lot of fun too, because there are reprints, there are new printings of books that are of vintage things like this. And they can be pretty exciting too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
the artwork is always so
absolutely,
wonderful.
and the artwork with it's like they give more energy and effort to the artwork than let's say American
right.
toys.
Totally.
It's funny. There's two good examples I think here of like an American toy or a Japanese Godzilla toy and then its counterpart. Okay, and I'm talking about the two giant Godzillas down here. On the right, you have the one that was made in Japan. This is back in 1978-79.
Right.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. It has the spines, he shoots his little fist, he has a pull string. And then on the left side, you have the giant Godzilla from Mattel.
Why is it called? Why was it Shogun?
Okay. So here's what happened. What happened was Mattel had a series of Shogun warriors. They were these
Robots.
giant, they were giant plastic, and it was like a Japanese. It was like Japanese cartoon type of thing,
Transformers.
and it seemed like it was like a natural.
Mazinga and all that.
Yeah.
They created this Godzilla figure, and they said, "Oh, we'll just put it in the Shogun set because it was in a big box."
Right.
And what's neat is, they both shoot the fist, And the Mattel one has this little, the little thing that you pull on the back of his head that makes his little, what people say it's a tongue. It's not his tongue. It's supposed to be his atomic breath that looks like fire.
Godzilla shooting his fist off was a power I didn't know Godzilla did.
No,
that's new.
well,
I mean, I know he can fly with his breath.
Yes.
But I didn't know
Maybe
he could
he's
shoot
Mecha.
No,
Godzilla.
no,
He's
no,
Mecha
no,
Godzilla
he's
in
not.
disguise.
No, guys, it has nothing. No.
Shogun's a robot.
Yes, I know, but this Godzilla was supposed to be, he's all like natural, he's like a real creature. The fist thing was just like, that's not, it was just an added feature. It's a strange feature. But you can see by looking at them both. I mean, I got this Godzilla, the Mattel one, in '79 when it came out. Because that was the only.
To find out. Too, right?
Yeah, but that was the only big Godzilla toy that they had.
Right.
Then when I found out that they made this other one in Japan, oh my gosh, it took me years to find that one. But
And they both are able to fist? Is that? Just curious. Like the other one does.
they can both fire
can
their
both fist?
fists. They can fire their
Alright.
fists. But this is two examples of like an American toy and a Japanese toy. The Japanese toy is much more sought after. And actually, although the Mattel one, this one, it's very pricey on eBay right now. This one, it's called the Jumbosaurus. That one is really, really pricey. But those are two great toys.
Cool.
I should also mention we have this poster here.
Godzilla poster.
This is an original Cuban one-sheet for the first Godzilla film. I have no idea what it's worth, but this was a surprise birthday gift from my mom. It came in the mail years ago.
You have a great mom. That is a great.
I really do. It was she was working in New England in a postal restoration place.
Radioactividad. That's great.
And it's probably my prized Godzilla collectible.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, if we're going to go to original, the first Godzilla movie, this is kind of a favorite thing of mine. It's not in perfect shape, but considering that I got this picture for nothing, practically, at the Shrine Auditorium.
Really?
Yeah. This is an original publicity photo from Godzilla King of Monsters, and it is signed by Akira Takarada and Nakajima-san.
We're both in the first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's kind of nice, and it's from the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Is it? That's from 50.
Yeah.
Is it from 56?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't beat the vintage.
No. If you can find anything vintage, that's such a thrill.
I think I might have paid $3 for this.
Oh, that's
The
amazing.
autograph's the other hand,
Yeah.
80, but $3 for the stone.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sean, do you have another? Is there another collectible that you?
I'm not playing like one single Godzilla figure I like. I mean, like I said, I think all the Bandai stuff from the 80s and 90s I love. The Gargantua figures, which aren't here at the moment, are from not Godzilla, but it's Toho, from X Plus are great. But yeah, I mean, Tricycle Godzilla I love, and all the Hedorah figures, yeah.
And we were talking earlier about Iwakura, which is a company that 10, 15 years ago was creating a lot of really interesting figures like the little go-go dancing fish head dolls from Hedorah.
Are you serious?
But of course you know that.
I didn't know they made toys of those.
Oh
my god!
Yeah. Also, the little paddle boat that the kids riding in the beginning of Megalon.
Oh, I love that
Which
thing.
I was looking for years, and then I mentioned it to Taylor, and he actually was able to find one.
But it's not a toy. Is it a toy? It's like a
model.
It's a teeny tiny thing. They actually call them an ornament. I don't know why they call them ornaments. Maybe it's because they're so small. It's just amazing that someone thought of putting one of those things out.
Obscure character.
And there's vehicles and all these different other characters that Iwakura puts out. They changed their name now to Cast. They're not Iwakura anymore, which makes it harder to find on eBay because you type in Cast and anything can come up.
Mm-hmm.
But still, very cool, obscure stuff.
And there's enough like in the whole Godzilla Toho world of films and characters. There's still seems like plenty to mine as far as figures and toys to put out. They just keep putting out different versions of all the different monsters.
Yeah.
And just more Hedorahs.
Yeah, more.
Like this is the one that I want so badly, which is this Hedorah that is clear.
And it's plastic clear.
Yeah, and you can see his organs, like the book.
Wait, you're saying that exists or
that exists?
It exists.
It does exist.
Yeah, and I've been looking for that thing forever.
He's clear plastic and you can see the internal organs.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
You know, you were talking about Hedorah's balls. I didn't think Hedorah had balls, but I guess it's heterosexual.
Oh!
Right, there you go.
Oh, man. I'll agree to that, man.
Whoa.
I don't know how you follow that.
Yeah.
You know, getting back to like other funny, funky things. You know, I really like this. It's Godzilla on a swing.
I know, I remember that.
From that movie. He was on the swing.
Look at this. This is great. I love this. Or you could say he's doing gymnastics.
That's how he keeps in shape.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The Olympiad.
Exactly. And not only this one do I love, but I love this one. This is the Godzilla flocked figure.
What is flock?
He's fuzzy.
Oh,
he's
flocked.
He's
Flocked.
he's kind of fuzzy.
It's
you
fuzzy.
know?
Yeah.
And what's neat about this is there's actually a smaller version of this. And they came out with Godzilla and Mothra and Baragon and Ghidra. And this was actually the display. It's supposed to catch your eye. They put this in a store, and you go, oh, look at that guy. And you look at the other one, the smaller ones. That's what they sold. They didn't actually
Oh,
sell
cool.
this. So this is kind of cool that I got the display.
That's neat.
But it's neat because he's really fuzzy. And he's
Kind of
very
reminds me of
cute.
Godzuki a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't remind me of Godzuki at all.
No, it's
Yeah,
a little bit like
cartoon.
Baby
Wow.
Godzilla from Space Godzilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's what.
By the way, have you read any of my Godzuki fan fiction? Well, slash fiction.
No, I haven't. But I did want to ask, who brought this? Because this is really cool. This
That's
is
mine.
okay, tell me about this.
Very cool.
Well, this is the yet again another
Stage of
of his development, and
Mhm.
so he was able to turn into this like manta ray sort of flying version of himself,
Show me how that goes.
and it just kind of goes, and then there'd be like this trail of like pollution that would follow.
And
Toxic
he would
pollution.
just fall onto the ground,
Yeah.
writhing in,
Yeah.
just like get like all mutated
But there's
faces
and then there's even more versions. Then there's like the little
There's
this
like
one,
tadpole
which is sort of in the
version,
middle,
and-
little
yeah,
That's a
tadpole.
tadpole one.
Yeah, it's kind of adorable.
Yeah, it is.
It's all psychedelic,
Yeah.
painted.
For a deadly creature, yes, that is
Yeah.
very, very cute.
Yeah. But another favorite of mine in this whole thing, and I love this.
This I'm admiring this.
I
This
love
is
this. This
unbelievable.
Is the
Matt. This
so
tell me what this is.
you've got Nakajima-san in the actual, and it doesn't really look like him, but who cares? Inside the costume, and the only thing that I wish this toy had was an ability like you press a button and he comes out of the suit coughing, and then there's another figure that gives him CPR.
You know what's funny is in all the pictures I've seen of him when he's coming out of the costume, he always has like the headband and he's like, oh,
Well, there's this one.
That look at that one. Now
I love
see,
that.
that's how he's and when he's wearing the costume, he has his watch. You see, look, he's got his little watch on.
Well,
so you
and he's
don't
almost always on a smoke break too. He's always
Yes.
got a cigarette in his mouth.
Well,
Yeah.
and also you need to watch because when it's quitting time, it's quitting. Yeah. Like I am out of this thing. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, there are so many Godzilla collectibles, and we can continue going
could.
on.
We
but-
go on
but,
to part 3 and part 4.
yeah, so I mean, this is part 1. I mean, we have a lot of Godzilla collectibles. There's
And other stuff.
and there's plenty more. We should do like what you say, a Gigan. We could do a Gigan one.
We can do
Episode
it.
every
We can do
month.
a
If we
Gigan one.
really want to get viewers,
Yes.
they
yes.
all guy
We have to do a
episode.
Speedera episode. Just a Speedera.
So look, there's so many more Godzilla collectibles out there, and perhaps we'll see them in part 2 or part 3. But hey, thanks for joining us on Monster Party for Godzilla Collectibles. part
We're
3.
here at Creature Features.
Yes, please check them
Thank you,
out.
Taylor.
Please, yes,
Letting us
thank you
use
very
the
much,
store.
Taylor.
Check them out on
Come
the-
and visit the store.
Yes, check it out. You can check them out on the internet because he's constantly having different gallery events. You know, he had Godzilla here for this time, and then you never know what's going to be down the future. There could be Planet of the Apes. There's Creature from the Black Lagoon. There's even going to be a Rankin Bass one. So check out
Godzuki?
Creature Features. No, he's not going to do
Yeah, art show.
Godzilla. Anyway, thanks very much for joining us, and keep America strong.
Watch Godzilla films.
Yeah.